Welcome. I'm Richard Llewellyn, the Anti-Terrorism Program Manager for the Kansas National Guard, and I'll be providing your anti-terrorism overview. I have provided my contact information, so if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to contact me. First thing we'll go over is the threat level. Threat level can either be high, moderate, or low, depending upon what's going on in the world. That will affect our force protection conditions. Those are the measures that are put in place to protect our personnel. So the FPCON level could be either normal, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Delta. We normally sit somewhere between Alpha and Bravo, probably Bravo, and hopefully we never move into Charlie or Delta because that will make it very difficult to get to and from work and get anything done. And normal hasn't been around for many years, so it's really not even addressed anymore. So elements of the AT program itself. First of all, you got your perimeter security. That's that stuff on the outer limits of your compound. Usually it's more your complexes than your standalone facilities. Standalone facilities do have bullpens, but they really don't have perimeters. Around our complexes, we do have fences, barriers, access control points. We have the entry control points. We have our individual identification cards, often those proxy cards that you carry around for access. And most of those complexes are guarded by resource protection officers. The next layer of security, an element of our AT program, is your internal security. That's your restricted access, your intrusion detection systems, which is your alarm systems on all of our vaults, but also on some of our buildings, depending upon the threat level of those facilities. And we also have closed circuit TVs on all of our standalone facilities. We have them on our recruiting storefronts, and as well as all of our gated complexes. And then, of course, we have our cybersecurity measures. That's those layers and layers of security that we have to keep our network safe. Now, to make sure our perimeter security, internal security are working like they're supposed to, we have our procedural safeguards. That's our anti-terrorism plan and policies. It's your evacuation plans you have for your facilities. It's those standoff distances to keep our facilities safe. It's the inspections. It's the FPCON measures that I just talked about. It's your random anti-terrorism measure program, which keeps some of those measures random, so it keeps the bad guys guessing. And then it's those reporting standards, training, and exercises. And all that stuff is in vain if we're all not doing our part. Next, we're going to go into the most important part for you, and that's your role. That's situational awareness and reporting. First of all, situational awareness is just recognizing when there's suspicious activity. And that a lot of times can be a lot easier at home, since if somebody's in your backyard that's not supposed to be there, that's pretty easy to figure out that's suspicious, or roaming around your house and such, or just generally in your neighborhood and they look out of place. It's a little more critical and easier to miss at work, but you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on outside your facilities as you're coming to and from work every day. If something looks out of place, somebody measuring some things they shouldn't be measuring, taking some pictures, taking some notes, it definitely will be worth reporting that to the appropriate authorities, as well as stuff that's happening online. Unfortunately, people that are radicalizing are going down a violent path. They often like to talk about it online, and that's not just on Facebook or Twitter. It also could be on some of these more encrypted type sites like Telegram and Parler. But if you see somebody headed down a dark path or look like they're starting to have some violent tendencies, or they're just acting out of what they normally would act, it might be worth reporting, as you may be saving them and possibly somebody else. So who to report to, and what do you report? So details are important. We want to know the who's, the what's, the where's, the why's, the how's. However, we want to get all those details while keeping ourselves safe at the same time. So we're not asking anybody to conduct an apprehension or something, because that's really not your role, or conduct some long interview or take a long video. But if you can get a picture of a license plate or the person itself, that would be great. The more information we have, the better, but keep yourself safe. So where do you report it to? Lots of options. First of all, you can contact our National Guard Facility Police. That's our resource protection officers at 0555. Or you can contact myself, which I've already given you my contact information, or one of the 40+ anti-terrorism officers that we have in the state. Or you can contact your command. Outside of that, you can contact your local law enforcement. Like here in Topeka, you can contact Topeka Police Department, Shawnee County Sheriff's Department. You can contact the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. You can go on their website and report it on their app. On their website itself, they have an option for reporting suspicious activity. Or you can go straight to the FBI, and they also have an option on their website for reporting suspicious activity. Now, there's also an app, because there's an app for everything. See something, send something. You can download it from Apple or on Android, and you can report anonymously. So where does all that information go? It all goes into eGuardian, which is all ran by the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We have a Joint Terrorism Task Force here in Topeka. We got some elements down in Wichita, and we have a Joint Terrorism Task Force as well in Kansas City. So just get it reported. That way they can do something with it. That's their job. Okay, so let's go into some basic procedures as far as around your workplace. First of all, is active shooter, which obviously is important stuff for me. An active shooter is in your workplace. You hear the shots. You want to try to get out. If the shooter's inside, you want to get outside. However, that's not always possible, especially if you're going to go into the path of the shooter. You just don't know where the shooter's at. So then, if you can't get out, then you're going to want to barricade yourself in. Unfortunately, all of our doors open out, and you don't have the key to lock those doors unless that door's already locked and it has restricted access already. So you've got to be ready to fight. So make sure you scan the area around you and see what you have as options for weapons to ward off that attacker, whether it's scissors or a fire extinguisher, whatever you can get a hold of. Next is bombs and bomb threats. If you hear about a bomb threat, you get told there's a bomb threat, and you're told to shelter in place or evacuate, just do as you're advised. If you see an object or a bag or something like that looks suspicious, don't pick it up. Don't take it to law enforcement. They don't want it. Report it. Get people away from it. Somebody will come in, and that way somebody will come in that knows what to do with it. Now, if you get a bomb threat across the phone, you want to make sure that you have your bomb threat checklist, because you want to know what kind of questions to ask and what to do so you can get that information and get it to the authorities. That bomb threat checklist is available through the DHS website, or you can contact me and I'll send you one by email. Just make sure you have it somewhere near your desk. Chemical or biological release. If you're told there has been a release and you're told to evacuate, do as you're instructed. However, if you're inside and you suspect that there has been some type of release and it's an internal release and you can shut off the HVAC system, that's great. Just not too sure that's possible. And of course, if there's an external release and you can somehow shut off the air intake, that's great too. I'm just not too sure if you have the availability of getting to those things anyway. In most of our facilities anyway. So severe weather. And for most of us, we think about tornadoes. So obviously, if there's a tornado warning, you want to go to your designated shelter and stay there until you're given the all clear. Finally, is fires, right? So you find out there's a fire, shout fire, pull the fire alarm, notify your supervisor, call 911. All right, if there's a fire extinguisher nearby and you're familiar how to use it, help out as you can. If you hear the alarm, then go and evacuate. We just ask that you do not pull the fire alarm for an active shooter incident. Unfortunately, most active shooters are insiders, so they're going to know where everybody's headed if you pull the alarm. All right, so that about completes my anti-terrorism overview. If you have any questions, there's my contact information once again. If you want to complete your anti-terrorism level 1 training, pretty simple. Just go to Google, type in anti-terrorism and JKO, and pull it up. You won't even need a CAT card to do the training. Just complete it and turn it into your training or for informational value. That's all I have. Have a great day.